how do you write authentic chemistry between two characters in a story? In this video, I have 10 strategies for you. These are all techniques for establishing romantic chemistry between two characters in fiction, and all of these should work regardless of gender or sexual orientation. Let's go. Quick story. I used to be terrified of writing romance into my books. I was afraid of coming across as sentimental or cheesy. And for years, as I was working on my first novel, people would ask me if the two characters in the book had ever fallen in love, and I would bristle. This is a writing bias that I had. I was afraid of being put into a box, a pink box. And so I completely shied away from any romance at all. It wasn't until I got a really good note from a trustworthy editor who told me that my book lacked heart that I became brave enough to write romance into my work. And when I finally did, that's the version of my book that got me a literary agent and that ultimately sold to a publisher. And ever since, I have included romance in my books, even as a small thread. So let's get to our techniques. Here are 10 actions or attributes that a character can do or possess in order to convey romantic chemistry in your story, whether you're writing romance as a genre or not. These are genre-neutral techniques, okay? Technique number 1 is acting clumsy. Now this is a bit of a trope, but it's a trope for a reason. When we're interested in someone, we can get really clumsy. I once ran into a wall when I was trying to smoothly walk away from a guy I had a crush on. And the end of that story is a happy one because he found it charming and asked me out, and we dated tumultuously for the next 4 years. So by happy ending, I mean a complicated one. Anyway, besides running into a wall, you could do things like spilling something or dropping something. You get the idea. All right, another technique is have them not notice what's going on around them, especially something obvious. When we're really interested in someone or something, you know how we don't notice other things? Like we suddenly have blinders on. You could really play this up. Someone doesn't notice something really obvious. A fire, a baby crying, a burglary, a celebrity walks by, an overflowing sink or tub, someone saying hi or trying to get your attention, that kind of thing. Technique number 3 is have them say something really, really dumb. Now, this is the opposite of witty banter. And you know you've been there. You're attracted to someone and so your brain completely turns off. You become tongue-tied, your brain shuts down. You say things like, what's the number for 911? I carried a watermelon, as said by Baby in the classic film Dirty Dancing, when she can't believe she's, said something so stupid the first time she's introduced to the handsome dancing instructor played by Patrick Swayze. Or as the comedian Mitch Hedberg used to joke, like noting something really bland and meaningless to someone like, that is a big tree. Other examples are things like forgetting your own name or calling yourself their name, that sort of thing. All right, technique number 4 is a slight departure. You can have other characters notice something about them or say something revealing. So for instance, you're sweating, the friend points out, or someone mistakes the two people for a couple. Or someone close to them makes the observation that you haven't eaten today or yesterday, or you just put salt in your coffee, or you've mentioned that person's name 10 times in 2 days. You see what I mean? What other people notice is often very telling, and we can play with that in our writing. Okay, I have some more techniques for you, but before I share them, a quick invitation. I have a free private group for writers working on books where once a month I host a live event where I plan out the first third of a new novel from scratch. It's super fun. It's like improv meets novel writing, and you'll learn by watching and participating. You can join this event, 30,000 words in 30 minutes. Watch Mary plan the first third of a novel from scratch at the link below this video. Okay, now back to the video. The 5th technique is making a character attracted to one very specific physical detail of another. Now, maybe this is even a physical detail that isn't usually something people find attractive. I remember falling in love with my high school boyfriend's calves when he was reffing my little sister's soccer game at the church soccer league game. I couldn't even see his face, but I remember sitting in the bleachers feeling attracted to his calves. Some people love hands. It could be a scar, a raspy voice, a tick, something they do, and the more specific, the better. Number 6 is a specific detail they find attractive that has never gone away. What do I mean? Well, this one is a twist on the last one because sometimes we aren't writing a romance that's new. Sometimes we're writing a romance that's old. In my novel, Palm Beach, my two point of view characters have been married for a few years. If you're writing a long-term relationship, maybe that one specific attractive detail that they noticed right at first, maybe that never went away, and you can emphasize its duration. For example, maybe they've been together for 20 years, and his laugh still makes her heart race, or the fact that his socks never match and the partner finds it endearing, or the bad joke that they tell over and over, a word that they mispronounce. It's a thing that never went away and always stayed appealing. Technique number 7 is being surprisingly earnest or sincere. This one is sort of in the spirit of the first time someone says, I love you, or you're beautiful. It's someone being just incredibly open and authentic and saying what they truly feel in a way that we don't normally do as humans because we usually have our guard up more than that. It's sort of an obvious one, but I think it's an important one to include. All right, next, along the same lines, number 8 is having the character share in a way or to a degree that's out of character and therefore shows that there's a special degree of trust that's present. An example here would be like someone who's normally really stoic tearing up, or someone sharing a hidden talent they don't usually let people in on. The fact that when they're alone at night, they needlepoint, or showing the stamp collection that they secretly keep, or their trophies from childhood. Maybe someone offers to let the other person drive their prized classic car. It doesn't have to be positive either. It could be sudden anger in a usually passive person, but that sort of thing. Number 9 is that they could do something impulsive together. Now, this is out of character too, but they're being out of character in this case as a couple. Their chemistry brings out the spontaneity in both of them. Things like leaving an important event together early. Let's bail on this wedding and go to the beach. Or going somewhere fun, like a place kids normally go, like a carnival. My husband and I, when we were early dating, once had an M&M fight in a hotel room using the beds as our fortresses. And it was like, early in the relationship when this kind of fun, playful thing just sort of happens. What could the two of them do that's wild for them? It doesn't have to be dangerous. And, in fact, I think silly can be a really good way to go. And finally, number 10, the last technique is you can make the character surprised that they aren't annoyed at the other one. So this one is a really good one for a character. If your character is misanthropic, they normally don't like people. The character could think, wait, I don't hate this person, and that's weird. Now, important distinction here. I am not talking about negging. Negging is a kind of gross manipulative tactic that got some buzz, I think, in like the 2010 era. And it's like stupid and misogynistic. I'm talking about someone genuinely being surprised that they aren't having a sincere negative reaction the way they do with most people. Like, wow, you leave your laundry everywhere and it doesn't bother me. What does that mean? I must really like you. So those are them 10 techniques to show spark between your characters. Now go write some amazing chemistry. Whether you're writing romance as a genre or not, you can still write great romance into your stories. And hey, if you're still watching, I assume you're writing a book or want to write one. And if so, I have something for you. A few years ago, I created the 4 notebooks method, my process for handwriting a novel across 4 notebooks. The 4 notebooks method is my strategy for mapping out your story structure without locking you into an outline or sucking all the freedom and fun out of writing. If you'd like to learn this method and get a free digital template to write your novel across 4 notebooks, go to the link below this video. To get it, you just have to apply for my program, the Book Incubator. It's 2 questions. It takes under 5 minutes. And you're gonna get the template right away. Whether or not you wanna join, there's no pressure to enroll. So just tell me a little bit about you and your book or your book idea. I can't wait to hear from you.